For a lot of people, the biggest barrier to entrepreneurship is not capital, it's not skills, and it's not even the fear of failure. It's health insurance. Every year, I talk to people who want to start a business, launch a side hustle, or go fully independent, but they stay stuck in jobs they hate because of one thing, the benefits, the health insurance. Maybe you've been there. You're sitting at your desk thinking, if I quit this job, what happens if someone in my family gets sick? What happens if I end up with a massive medical bill? And suddenly, the dream of entrepreneurship feels a lot riskier than it should. What's crazy is that in today's world, with remote work, solopreneurs, freelancers, digital business, we still have a system where healthcare is largely tied to a traditional W-2 job. And because of that, millions of people feel handcuffed by their employers. Here's the thing most people don't realize. There are actually far more options for health insurance than people think, even if you're an entrepreneur or planning to become one. Association plans, small business group plans, private insurance strategies, tax advantage health savings account. There's an entire system that most people never even hear about because they've always had HR departments handling it for them. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. My guest today is Brian Calvert. He's a health insurance broker who specializes in helping entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small business owners navigate the complicated world of health coverage without breaking the bank. In this episode, we're going to break down how health insurance actually works outside of a traditional job, the options that entrepreneurs have available, and how you can think strategically about protecting your health and your finances while still building the life and business that you want. So if health insurance has ever been the thing holding you back from going out on your own, this episode might change the way you think about it. So let's dive in. Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Financial Freedom Podcast. Today's talk is all about health insurance benefits for the solopreneur, entrepreneur. How can you get health insurance benefits and leave your W-2? Brian Calvert is here to elucidate all of those answers and questions for you. Brian, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Today's is going to be a really fascinating topic. Briefly introduce yourself and how you got started.
My name is Brian Calvert. I'm a health insurance broker. I own a company called Business Health Market. We cater to individuals, solopreneurs, groups up to thousands if needed, as well as Medicare. We have the whole health insurance spectrum covered.
The people that come to you, what are they seeking? What are they looking for?
We have a broad range. As of late, we've seen the news the last several months. The government's been fighting over tax credits and subsidies related to health insurance. A lot of people in the higher earner income brackets have lost their subsidies. So the cost of insurance through the marketplace has gone wild. We have a lot of people that have come to me and said, hey, Brian, my insurance went up to $3,000 a month for the family. Do you have anything that's available for small groups or for individuals or solopreneurs that can help me get coverage and not break the bank? The answer is yes, there are options available. Not always a great fit for everyone, but certainly there are options available.
When looking at these options, what are they and how does one determine whether or not they fit those options?
There's a couple different ways. Let's start with a solopreneur. There's two main categories people are looking for when they get private insurance, something outside the marketplace. One of them would be to join an association group plan. What I mean by that is when you join the association, you pay a fee that goes to the membership of this association. They have benefits available to that association. You might see this at a chamber of commerce. You have an association available. The other is, believe it or not, there are small employers out there that are remote employers that hire people on a part-time basis to use some of their data. When they use their data, they offer them benefits. That's been a great resource for us. And there's a small business insurance. As long as you have two people that are W-2, sometimes 1099, we can go ahead and facilitate that depending on the size of your organization and what you're looking for.
The audience looking to branch out, I don't know why health insurance has to be tied to a W-2 in this day and age. We have a lot of entrepreneurs. A lot of the time that's limiting. It's very nebulous to someone. They're stuck. They hate their job, hate their boss, handcuffed to it. How should they start navigating this health insurance? What should they be doing?
Back to your comment about W-2. The only time the W-2 comes into play is if you're not part of an association and you want to do a true group employer plan. If you want to do an employer plan, there has to be employee-employer relationship. If you're a solopreneur and you want to go to one of those association plans for individuals, the sky's the limit. There's low cost, there's high cost plans. There's plans that are underwritten for your health, some plans that are guaranteed issue. So there's lots of different fields we put people in. And that's my job, to help you get through the noise and help you understand it.
How do you approach helping clients choose the best health benefits plan?
2 or 3 strategies. The ones that people care about the most are cost and the benefits related to your health. If someone has severe health issues or specific things for their health, that would be really important to know. That helps us guide them. The other is their financial capabilities. If we're talking about solopreneurs and high net worth people, that might be less important than going to a certain doctor. Certainly, that's all the questions I ask. The things you're asking me are the questions I ask them. So those are good questions.
You help clients stop accepting 15% increases and smarter ways to control healthcare costs. How do you do that?
Let's say you're looking at a group employer plan. There's so many different types of plans out there. Certain ones are higher cost than others. The key is to review your benefits every year, see if it's working or not for you or your employees, then go back and say, okay, I got a 20% increase. I'm not using this plan to its fullest capabilities. Maybe there's another plan that will help mitigate costs and make sure the benefits are good. Unfortunately, the health insurance world has gone wild these last few years, but there's definitely options for people. They've got to be willing to put a little bit of work in with a broker, talk to them about it, and not just accept it.
Is it possible to have the same coverage and benefits and pay significantly less?
That's a loaded question. When I ask people all the time, how much do you want to pay? The first thing most people say is, I want to get the best benefits for the least amount of cost. Those are often counterintuitive, right? They're counterproductive. It is possible to get the cost of the plan down based on your usage and what you need out of it. A high usage person, it's going to be a lot harder to get the cost down because we need to make sure they have benefits built in. If someone is literally, I go to the doctor once a year, I'm only worried about catastrophic coverage so I don't lose my house or my business, car, whatever the assets are, then there's options out there like an HSA or a high deductible plan that can offset some of that and get them some tax benefits.
You mentioned HSA. HSA is a great tax vehicle. I started one. How can one use a HSA for retirement, investing, and health to mitigate the cost of healthcare?
If you're someone who doesn't use insurance a lot and you have means to pay that higher deductible HSA, you can take the maximum deduction of that, put it aside. HSAs are allowed to be used for purchasing medicines, paying premiums, doctor visits, co-pays. If you don't use it, an HSA stays with you for life. It's not like the old FSAs at an employer that has a termination date. There are a few individual plans. Not only will they let you sign up for an HSA, they'll contribute $25 a month to help you get the HSA started. So they're really pushing that vehicle, but it's got to be the right fit for someone who can afford that deductible or the plan design of an HSA, because they are designed differently than a normal traditional plan.
When you're referring to HSA, I assume you're referring to the employer-based HSA. As an entrepreneur, I have my own HSA. It's not with any company. Last year was $85.50. You can invest in stocks. You can do various things. You get a return. You can deduct it off your taxes. I assume that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, on individual plans, as long as the plan meets the criteria for an HSA, even on a non-work plan, you're allowed to contribute and take advantage of those tax advantages.
And for entrepreneurs that have significant HSA, they've invested, they've taken care of themselves, don't really need the medical system, what can they do with that HSA? Let's say it's in the 6-7 figures.
To be honest with you, I don't touch that portion of it. I talk to your financial advisor about that one. I don't do tax work. I'll stay in my lane and know everything I can about health insurance, but I don't go down that road. I'm sure there's some vehicles to be able to move that money to an account that'll help you protect it long term, I'm sure.
Quick pause here. If this episode is making you rethink how your income is structured, that's intentional. Information doesn't create freedom. Structure does. At the end of this episode, I'm going to show you how to diagnose whether you're building leverage or just scaling complexity. Let's get back into it. Technology these days, I hope in my lifetime to see it disrupt healthcare, insurance, bureaucracy, regulation, inefficiencies. How do you think technology like telemedicine, AI-driven benefits management will shape the future of group health insurance, healthcare premiums?
Where we see it, where AI, artificial intelligence, and all those things are helping, they haven't come quite to the point of the patient side of it yet. I wish it would, but there's a lot of compliance. Where we see help now, to your point, is getting access to information for clients, getting plans put in place faster, making sure that service and claims are much faster because they're using the AI on the back end are starting to ramp up. From the customer-facing side, it's tricky because you have HIPAA, the bureaucracy within the codes related to what a treatment is. Until they clean that up, it's going to be hard. It's on its way. I hope sooner than later. As far as technology from just a straight, let's see what's available, I tend to lean towards companies and carriers when I help clients that have an app, that have easy-to-use insurance so that You can find your card very easily on your phone or search for doctors very easily. Those are easy things that not all companies do yet, which I find wild, because if you can give them the information, it saves a phone call. That's what I like to handle there.
How do regulatory changes such as the Affordable Care Act, state level health mandates, the recent Trump regulations, how does that impact your work as a broker?
It's been a challenge. 90% of the calls I got last year were people where those tax subsidies went away and said, oh my God, my insurance has gone through the roof. It's one of those things we have no choice. We're stuck with the system. That's where the individual plans that people are looking to go outside the marketplace come in to go back. When Obamacare and the marketplace was developed, we saw employers foregoing giving health insurance to their employees because they knew they could go in the marketplace and get help with coverage or subsidies. We're starting to see a turnaround where employees are coming to their employers and saying, I can't afford the individual stuff in the marketplace anymore. Will you start offering benefits at work and helping me cover it? What we're seeing is that these small employers that are offering benefits that maybe didn't in the past, they're going to have leverage on the workforce to have better hiring practices to keep people in line. And people are looking for it. We all know, we've all seen it. Someone will leave a job for less money for better benefits. They'll take a lesser pay to make sure they have better benefits. I'm not saying it's right, but it happens.
Or people stay in their part-time just for the health benefits.
Starbucks, as an example, Starbucks has an incredible benefits package for part-time employees. Infertility is covered, all kinds of crazy stuff. If you're willing to put the time work there, get those benefits. People do all the time. It's vast.
With COVID, how are employers incorporating mental health support into their benefits packages?
Almost all plans now include mental health support, whether it's $0 or low-cost plans. It's absolutely expected. It's not an option anymore. It's expected to be covered. The ones that cover it better are higher on my list. When I have 30 or 40 carriers I can go to, I want to help a company choose. And that's important to them. I know which ones to go to. For instance, small business group plans with Aetna. Aetna has a $0 mental health offering on almost all their plans. Why wouldn't we go there if it was affordable? It makes sense, right?
What role do wellness programs and preventative care in today's health plans?
Wellness is required by almost all plans from the marketplace mandates. The ones that work best go beyond that. They offer mental health at either zero or low cost. They offer employee assistance programs to help people going through tough times. They offer easy access to telemedicine. There's no question that wellness gym memberships are a small perk, but they're needed because the healthier we keep your workforce, less claims get filed. That keeps less strain on the health system.
Another question from the audience that are forward thinking, what about chiropractic, massage therapy, Pilates, yoga? How does all of that play into your work?
Yeah, many plans cover chiropractic. Some cover acupuncture, massage therapy. It can be covered. It's often usually more like a physical therapy situation. Those are becoming more and more standard.
With the rise of remote and hybrid work environments, how does that influence the way health benefits are structured?
The biggest change would be when someone's picking a plan, if they're going to have remote employees spread all around the country, you want to make sure that they have a PPO. You want to have a plan that has nationwide network so they can go to their doctors no matter what region they're in. If you're from North Carolina, you have a remote worker in South Dakota, you have an HMO and the network has only got 2 doctors, it doesn't really help, right? It's something that you don't really think of. In the past, you haven't had to because everyone came into your office and that was it. Now you have to think about those things. What kind of network are we going to choose? That's what we as brokers think about when we're looking for a plan for you, depending on your workforce.
How about international clients that are digital nomads that live abroad? How should they be thinking about healthcare and their benefits?
Most nomads that work abroad will get coverage from the location they're in because a lot of the world has universal health care in those countries. They would call me if they're coming home and they want a travel plan when they're visiting for a few weeks. We have companies that are owners of a franchise or foreign company owners that don't understand our health insurance, but they have to get it for their employees. And they use us as experts to help their US-based staff get coverages because they don't have to deal with it where they are. It's pretty common to have investors that own companies in the United States, but don't understand how to implement health insurance with the regulations for their staff in the US. It's important.
How can people connect, learn more, and get more information?
You can go to my website, businesshealthmarket.com. You can email me at brian@businesshealthmarket.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, Business Health Market, or Brian Calvert. I'm on socials, LinkedIn, or the website's the easiest way to find me. You can find information on my site, get in touch with me. Hopefully we can work someone through their problems. I deal with a lot of individuals that have gone from workforce to independent or contractor that want flexibility, but they don't have the benefits and don't know where to start. They may have worked for a company for 20 years, never had to do anything but check a box. And that was it. Didn't have to think about it. It also happens a lot with people that are retiring. A teacher may retire at 25 years of service, but they're still in their 50s and not ready to get Medicare, so they don't know what to do. We help those staff navigate through those benefits all the time.
I really enjoyed this conversation about a very important topic. Thanks for coming on to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'd love to hear from anyone that has some questions for me.
Let's zoom out. If you're a physician, founder, or high-income professional, and you feel like you're working harder every year, but not structurally freer, you're not alone. The mistake isn't effort, it's architecture. This show exists to help you convert expertise into scalable leverage, faster and with fewer expensive missteps. Here's the diagnostic I mentioned before. If your income requires your constant presence, if your capital isn't compounding outside your profession, if your highest value talent is doing low value tasks, you don't have a growth problem, you have a leverage design problem. And if you want to fix it with clarity instead of guesswork, I offer a limited number of one-on-one leverage strategy sessions each month. We audit your income model, capital deployment, authority positioning, and structural bottlenecks, and design your highest return move. If you're serious about compressing years into months, the link to apply is below.